Next up is presenter Tony Taylor. Yeah, some Tony Taylor fans in the house. Tony Taylor spends way too much time looking at how kitchen utensils and junk can be altered, finding out how he can fool people into believing that spray paint is a fine finish, and generally being as loud and obnoxious as possible at all times, obviously. Please welcome to the stage, Tony Taylor!
Ready, set, go. I was born with an aluminum derby. The drummer's slightly misplaced and out-of-time beats and rhythms I follow made the crowd not so interesting. Sure, mullets, rugby, baseball with all 8 of the neighborhood kids in our town of 14 houses was fun, but it's the junk in the barn and the basement that had me. I just knew all the materials, shapes, meshing gears, and who knows what could be reconfigured into awesome. Jumping in 2010, bored of typical guitar sounds, a little slide note on Tom Waits' Real Gone album poked my eardrum. Primitive guitars, cigar box guitars, and instruments now full on radar. Christmas was here, and my cool mom furnished a red cigar box, yardstick, and a go-get-'em sun pat on the head. 3 months later, out popped an electric 3-string that I got right the first time. Pie pans, kitchen utensils, people, your silverware drawers are not safe. Quickly, every stringed instrument was in mind, like this pipe pan banjo equipped with dual pickups. Each has its own character because of different material choices, sleek, plunky, and electrified. Historically, cigar boxes appeared in the 1840s. It wasn't long before they were fashioned into instruments, mostly to rural families, as first guitars, banjos, violins, mandolins, simple tunings, and plenty of hard living made great song material, the birth of the blues, and first guitars of many of the greats. All right. Of course, banishing boring black. 5 times I have to say this. Banishing boring black. Banishing boring black. Come on. Banishing boring black. Banishing boring black. Banishing boring black. Run-of-the-mill amplifiers is the goal. Back in the day, electronics were furniture, man. They were cool. Built using a wool skirt, a trophy plaque, automotive trim, scrap laminate, and brass rod. And then enter the salesman. Sample guitar, bells whistle, 3-string frets, 3 pickup options, kill switch, onboard boost, doubled low strings, yardstick fretboard, sewing bobbin, string tree, spatula, control cover, handmade loom woven strap, fork tailpiece, one great looking box, and a handmade neck. Pickups, the electronic voice of your instrument, made from scratch wood bobbins, industrial Alnico magnets, and enameled motor wire, all wound using a 1940s 8mm projector. Lots of character and made to fit. I just love to make every part that I can. So, come on, 20 seconds, right? All right, so thoughts for advertisements flooded in my brain. So, making the idea of a company all more possible. I felt they needed to be presented as more than low-grade, poorly built toys. Professional features, high build quality, and simple to play. So you could see ingredients. The diversity of the Urbanus Farmers Market, there we go, Farmers Market, looked like it needed an offbeat instrument builder, like me. With its great attendance and wonderful atmosphere, it's perfect for me. People come the world over. Now I need a shop if I'm going to produce instruments. We'll get to the next one. It's October, and starting with, there we go, that's the base of the shop. Starting with 300 square feet of cement pad that was already there, and leftover Walmart Garden Center concrete blocks, reuse, recycle, right? The bottom half was in motion, and my new full-time job of wheelbarrow mortar mixing was a-happening. So, we'll get to the next one here. All right, so you got to have enthusiastic helpers. So my boys pulled lots of nails out of old barn wood for the upper structure. For 6 years, my father and I tore down barns and saved material for various projects. Every bit came in handy. Everything's recycled, everything's out of barns that we tore down, every bit of it. So that's it, finished. That's how it looks today. So mostly finished, it's 600 square foot, and this is where my notes are done. It's 600 square foot, and so the downstairs is where I do all the dirty stuff, and upstairs is all the finishing stuff, right? I always wanted a cupola since I was a little kid, so I put one in, man. And And so it's really narrow, it's 10 foot, but it's perfect because when I worked in a giant 60,000 square foot building, it was like the kitchen. We were all next to each other, right? And so it's absolutely perfect. It's obviously more fuller than that today, but so down and dirty downstairs, and then cleaner and electronics and all that upstairs. People give me all kinds of projects. This is from a family, and so it's like actually the house keys to their front door of their farm, and then, you know, Grandpa's cigar boxes where he actually kept tobacco, and the kids would come home and roll it for every night. And so people collect these and say, okay, here's all my heirlooms, make them into something cool. And so you do this. I also get a lot of instrument repair, and it always seems like I get the most busted up stuff, and then that people had since, like, I've had this 1980 in my basement, and then they'll give it to me, and I'll have it for like, I'm like, it's going to be a while, and I'll have it for like 3 months, and then they'll say, are you done yet? I'm like, you've had it since 1980. What do you care? So anyway, so mandolins, violins, ukuleles, I've built it all. This is my very first mandolin. It was a lady at our church bought it, and her 8-year-old grandson plays it all the time. So I end up making a lot of these. But people come to me, oh, okay, so also you do weird stuff, you meet weird people. So this guy, I was on Etsy, and I like this guy's stuff, and he puts awesome effect circuits in kids' toys. It like it's circuit meant, and it blows your mind. It's like every time I touch it, it's like something new, you know. It's like he sells them for like $100, you know. And anyway, so of course, if you're gonna play instruments, you gotta have a band. So Flushing Pigeons, I started that band with my brother-in-law, and that's our bass drum. People give me drums, but give me all this old junk. So I put a trumpet in for a port because I don't want to be like anybody else, and then some old brass plate or whatever, because back in the 20s, they would have this cymbal on the bottom that when you smack the bass pedal, it'd be like ting, ting, right? But I was like, I didn't want that sound, so I put it on the front. This is the first violin, and I actually just took it to a guy, and it sounds awesome. I was able to go over a lady named Chandra's house, and she ripped on it. It was really, really cool. So actually, I got an order for another one today. So life is good. Let's see where we're at. All right. So we're going to play a little bit.